We spent 20 laps chasing down the Belgian here and got some racing fortune right at the end of the race, just for him to cut across the grass and barge us up to the last corner, setting up for a 2-car wide up to the finish line. We're here at the Nurburgring for round 3 of the Nations Cup. We're in the Group 3 cars and I've picked the Porsche for this particular race. We do qualify in a comfortable 4th position, so we should be able to battle for a podium finish today. We've got the German Eagle, we've got GT Bell at Graves, the Belgian, and we've got Spud, the British driver, ahead of us, and they're the ones that we're going to have to fight for to get this podium finish. Now heading into the Schumacher S around the middle section of the track, we do cut the corner just a little bit, which gives us a frustrating 0.5 penalty. Now we really feel like we need to catch up with the leading pack and get ourselves in front of the German here to secure a podium finish, as this is going to be a challenging drive if we get forced into the pack behind us. Now luckily we don't have to serve this penalty until the next lap, which gives us a chance to peel away. Heading onto the main straight, we do get into the slipstream of the German in front of us, and that should give us a pretty good opportunity to attempt an overtake into the braking zone for the first corner. Now we do dive a little bit on him here, and there is a little bit of contact going right into the corner, but we do get side by side as we go around the outside of 2 and 3. He does give us a little tap into the 4th corner, but it doesn't cause us too many problems. We are now at least 50-50. As you can see behind me, the German does get knocked off track. The Brit driver Toretto pushes him just here. As I think he misses his braking zone, he gives the sorry hazard lights after. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't mean to do that. But it does relieve the pressure for us and gives us a little bit of space behind us. And when we serve that penalty, it does give Dom Toretto the chance to catch up a little bit. But again, as we go into the chicane, it's really not a place to overtake. So we do manage to hold the 3rd place position. So we are now holding a podium position, which we're pretty pleased about. And we've got P2 and P1 just ahead of us. It still feels like they're within reach, so we've just got to get our heads down and get into this race. Dom Toretto does put the pressure on, going into the first few corners, the first sort of section of the track. And he does maintain the pressure as we go through. He does show his nose a little bit. I think he's trying to force me into a mistake going around these corners, but we do manage to keep our cool and stay on the track. Now as we head into the Dunlop Care, he does take it a little bit wide, applies the accelerator a little bit early as well, and he gets himself onto the gravel, which once again relieves the pressure from us just a little bit and gives us an opportunity to focus on pushing for P2 and P1. But as you can see, Spud has put in the fastest lap already, and he's putting in some pretty good times beyond that. He's got about 700ths faster than his fastest lap already. So it is going to be a challenge to catch up to Spud there. But he is breaking away from the Belgian in P2, which I think will give us an opportunity for P2 at the very least. Now as we go into the 6th lap, the Belgian goes in for the pits, probably aiming for an undercut here, as we were catching quite closely. As we were catching up and getting quite close. And we shift here to the 8th lap, where pretty much everyone else has now pitted. I didn't feel like it was necessary just then, but it's only a 1 lap difference. But the real question is, have we done enough to get ourselves ahead of the Belgian? But seemingly he's had a couple of good laps and managed to keep himself ahead. And we do manage to get a 1.4 second lead down to about a 0.7, 0.8, which once again should put us into slipstream distance, and hopefully we can catch up to the Belgian here and make a pass. But this is a challenging track, and the Schumacher S taken at full speed often can lead to a penalty, as you do end up cutting that second part of it if you get it wrong, and we get another 0.5 second penalty just here on lap 10. And it was very frustrating as we were just getting within reach, or just holding at least the Belgian in front of us. Now we do pit here on lap 15. Once again, we're pitting just after everyone else as well. We're hoping we've put in a couple of good laps that might get us ahead of the Belgian on the exit of the pits. But unfortunately, he passes us, just passes in front of us as we're coming out. So now we've got 4 more laps of this race to go, and we've got 1.2, 1.3 seconds to catch up. Now looking at the penultimate lap, we have managed to keep the Belgian within reach at least, but he has pulled ahead slightly by about 0.02 of a second. And as we go round the first technical section of this track, we find ourselves catching just a little bit. This still feels like a possible P2 in the bag. As we cut over turn 5, we feel the fear of a penalty looming, and we get a 1.5 second penalty. Unfortunately, just after we post a purple as well. So even though we've caught up and we've managed to get the Belgian a second ahead of us, we unfortunately have to pay the price of a 1.5 second penalty towards the end of the 19th lap. And the fear is that we do have 2 cars behind us that really aren't too far behind. This might give them an opportunity to catch up. Now, if you are enjoying this content, please consider liking and subscribing. It would really mean a lot and help me carry on to make these videos. Now back to the racing. One of those drivers does have a penalty though, so we're not too worried about one of them. But Dom Toretto, if he can get past, could apply the pressure into the last lap of this race. But thankfully for me, as I have done many times on this track, he gets himself a penalty going over the Schumacher S and gets that 0.5, gives us an opportunity to maintain this 3rd place finish. But if we look ahead, we see some incredible racing fortune on this final lap, where the Belgian seemingly forgets to turn and drives off track, having to rejoin and losing a lot of pace. Now, looking back on this, I should have just driven through him because he was ghosted, but I drive round and I miss my braking point, going really deep into the chicane here. And I don't know what it was, maybe it was ego, but the Belgian drives over the grass and then barges me out of the way onto the final corner. And as we come around the corner here, we realise that the Belgian doesn't even get a penalty for that grass cut, which is a complete shocker. And he somehow manages to maintain P2. Luckily, Dom Toretto going past had that 0.5 or 1 second penalty in the end, and we keep P3. To my shock, we don't get that P2 finish, which I think in some respects we kind of deserved, because, you know, it's racing, right? You made a mistake, mate. And yeah, that's that. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Check out my channel for track guides and other race highlights.